welcome back to my channel. My name is Ushma and this is my sewing channel where I sew things for myself and my family. And today I'm going to be working with this beautiful fabric that I thrifted a few months ago. It's this really silky, super slippery fabric, and it's got this jacquard print in the back that catches the light beautifully. So I'm really looking forward to making a dress out of this. So it's that time between Christmas and New Year where it's kind of like a void. Nobody knows what's going on, what day it is, what time it is. I took some time off work and I had a lot of projects planned for this in between time, but unfortunately I got sick. So I do apologize if my voice is still a bit croaky. Unlike previous times where I've had the flu, this time it was bad. I was knocked out, just miserable in bed for almost 3 days. And finally, I was feeling a little better this morning, so I dragged myself out of bed and I'm going to have a productive day. At least that's the plan. So initially, I wanted to make a dress for New Year's Eve. Even though I don't have any plans, it's nice to dress up and have a drink in your living room. But now I'm not sure. New Year's Eve is tomorrow, I think. What day is it? Yeah, New Year's Eve is tomorrow. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish it by tomorrow, but I would still like to make something with this fabric. I got this pattern called the Celeste dress or Celestine. Can't remember, but I'll link it down below. It's a pattern by Dressmaking Amore. It's a cowl neck slip dress. It's bias cut, which I think will work really well with this fabric. I think it's rated as a beginner pattern, so it should be easy. But I did make a kurta for my son this past fall for Tihar, which is a festival of light in Nepal. And I remember it was really hard to work with this fabric just because it's super slippery. So even though the pattern is rated as beginner friendly, it may still be a challenge to work with this fabric. But we're still going to try, and we're going to try to finish this by tomorrow. So let's get started. So my husband decided to use my fabric shears to cut Christmas wrapping paper, so he got an earful. But now I get to use the new ones. That felt so good. I actually haven't changed my shears since I started sewing almost a year ago, so it was time anyway. Good morning. So I didn't get to much sewing yesterday. Instead, we took our son to the aquarium and then we went out for dinner. And on our way back around like 8:30 p.m., I had the brilliant idea that I wanted to have donuts today. So when we got home around 9 o'clock, I started working on the dough so I could put it in the fridge and have the dough ready today. So all I did last night was just sew the back piece together, and this is how it's looking. One thing that I really like about this pattern is all the seams are French seams, so it finishes really neatly on the inside. And up until this point, I didn't know that you can do French seam in curved seams as well. So that was good to know, because I always thought the French seam was just for like straight seams. But yeah, this is very nice. And I don't have a serger, so it's always kind of a messy business to try and zigzag stitch fabrics that are super flimsy. So yeah, this is really nice. It does take a lot of time because you're basically sewing the seams twice, but the instructions ask you to press the seams as you go, and apparently for slippery fabrics, ironing in between makes it easier to handle the fabric, and I absolutely hate ironing. It's one thing about sewing that I don't enjoy at all, but for this one I figured, just follow the pattern, and it does make it a lot easier to sew. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that, which means I'm definitely not going to be able to finish this dress by tonight. Today is New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to you all. But I have a couple hours right now to work on this. We'll see how far I get. And then it'll be time to make some donuts, and I've been looking forward to that since last night. So let's see how far I can get in the next couple hours or so. So I've just pinned the side seams together. The pieces are wrong sides together right now because it's going to be French seams. I'm going to sew along the seams and then trim the seam allowance to half the size, press, and then turn the pieces so that it's right sides together, and then sew along the seam one more time so that the raw edges are encased within the seam allowance. So it's going to look nice and neat, just like this. Okay guys, I finished the dress. I'll put better footage later on, but I am very happy with how it turned out. Obviously, I didn't finish it in time for New Year's Eve, but regardless, I'm happy to have this dress. The pattern is called the Celeste dress by Dressmaking Amore, and I think it is rated as a beginner pattern, so I do agree that it's not a super difficult dress to make. In addition to written instructions, they do have a video on YouTube which I found helpful for the facing piece. I also found the construction of this dress very interesting. I always wondered how this cowl design is made, and now I know. I feel like the cowl on this dress is perfect. There isn't excess fabric here, which in the past when I've bought cowl neck top, I found that there was excess fabric here, so it's lays kind of weird and I never know how to style it. So I feel like this one is perfect. The only challenge that I had was working with the slippery fabric itself. And I'm glad that the instructions mentioned to keep ironing in between sewing, like pressing the seams really well. I found that to be really helpful to make the fabric behave. So even though I hate ironing, I did learn that for slippery fabrics, it is worth it to take the time to press in between, because that I think made this process a little bit easier for me. The other thing that I wish I had done was to pattern match this back seam, but it's too late for that now. Given that this fabric was so slippery and it is bias cut, I don't know if I would have been able to cut it perfectly to pattern match anyway. So it does look a little wonky in the back, but I'm okay with it. So as soon as I finished and put this dress on, I felt like I need to make a long floor length gown. Even though I wouldn't have anywhere to wear it to, but I feel like that would be so pretty. For now, this will have to do. And I do think that the midi length does give it a little versatility and can style it to be more casual or dress it up a little bit. So that is it for the video. I hope you liked it. I will leave you with some better footage of the dress. And if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Bye.